Hello and welcome to Boomer 11 Watch Along. We are going to be watching the Pakistan was England final right now. I'm so sorry. I really wanted that final, but it's okay.
Yeah,
That's what my heart is. I'm still not being able to get over that. But nonetheless, we are here to watch along this. It's been a very evenly poised game so far, but England ahead, I would say, at this stage. England just needs 61 more runs to clinch their second T20 title. Not so far away. And Pakistan did do the job right, picking up 3 wickets in the power play. Ideally, so in a normal day, you would pick up 3 wickets in a power play. You'll say you are on the driving seat. But then the score they've been able to put out was not good enough. 137. Last time around 137 was defended was back in 2012 when West Indies defended that against Sri Lanka in the World Cup final. It was a very
yeah.
close game where they balled out Sri Lanka for 101. But at this stage, England are on a cruise control. Good over by Shadab so far. He's really putting the pressure back on. Welcome, Jaren. How do you think the match has been so far?
Well, as you said, right now England needs 61 runs to win, but for Pakistan, it has 7 wickets to win. If they get those 7 wickets, it's the only way they can win this match. And it's not going to be easy because all of these English batters can bat. As we've already spoken about it, Adil Rashid is a number 11 batter. He's got 150 in ODI cricket and 250s in test matches, which means he can hold the bat and he can score some runs. He's also got two first class hundreds. So he isn't a mop with the bat at all, and which means this is, I mean, it is shaping up to be a very good match. I wouldn't say, England is at cruise control yet because England aren't looking entirely comfortable on the crease. I know the equation says that they're pretty comfortable, but some nice bowling here by Shadab Khan. He's bowling, towards the bigger side of the ground, towards the leg side. He's coming
Yeah.
round the wicket as well to Ben Stokes, which means not getting any room outside off stump. And on the other hand, he's bowling from the same angle, but he's coming over the wicket to Harry Brooks and again making him play towards, offside ground as well. So which is why I'm really admiring how Shadab is bowled. He's pretty much replicated what Adil Rashid did, but he's not gotten any wickets, and that's where I think Pakistan will be a little bit disappointed.
Oh, truly. And I think this over was very good from Shadab. I mean, to put the brakes on in the England team.
Yeah.
I think Ben Stokes hasn't really looked good as well so far. He's been struggling. But do you reckon in a World Cup final, 137 is a good total because the Pakistan were really put under the pump by the English bowlers. They never got going. At no point did you ever feel like Pakistan are on the front foot. They are the better team on this wicket. They were always struggling. They were struggling to clear the field. They were struggling to find the gaps, and especially what happens with this English team is if you don't find the boundaries, they are going to pounce on you. And especially Adil Rashid spell in middle that really put the brakes on, which meant that they were just going to be restricted even below 150. And that's exactly what happened. And also adding to that, England kept on picking up wickets on consistent breaks. They kept on picking up wickets in every second over after the 10th over, which meant Pakistan couldn't get away.
Yeah, I think today it just seemed like Pakistan team, the batting team was just giving fielding practice to the English players, ground fielding practice because that's what was happening. They never could get going. In even the power play, they looked nervous from the get go. There was a run out chance in the first over itself where even both Babar and Rizwan looked a little nervous, but then they got slightly going. But I suppose what really England did well was the fact that they never pushed the lengths up there. They asked Pakistani batters to go after them on towards the square boundaries, and even when there was some opportunity, a lot of Pakistani players tried to emulate Virat Kohli by playing those balls down the ground, but it was just not possible because of the kind of pace that the ball was coming at. And interesting to see how now. I mean, Naseem Shah is bowling right now. He is bowling that same length to the English batters that the English bowlers had served up to the Pakistani batters, and that's the reason why I think it's not going to be easy. Now, Harry Brooks is playing, I think, his 20th T20 match right now. Oh, I think that found the gap. I think that's something that he needed.
Yeah, actually,
Oh,
that's well
I don't know if
said.
he has.
Actually,
I think Harris Rock has just pulled it back in, maybe.
3 runs. I
But
think 3 runs would do my world of good because there was a considerable amount of pressure which was being mounted on this
yeah.
over,
Also, I
and
think
that's really a
most
good
often
start.
than not, it's always from the when the ball comes from the middle of the bat. From that extent, as a batter, you feel confident that the next ball will go to the fence. I think he's got it cleanly done. That's 3 runs. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I
Well,
think so far it's been decent from Pakistan as well. I mean, they can't
yeah.
do much with the total they've been put up by the batsmen. All what they can do is that ball their hearts out, try to keep discipline. But another factor also is that Pakistan have been bowling a lot of wides in this game. If you look at the number of extras they've been given away,
Yeah.
then that adds up to 15 runs, and that would have made a lot of difference ultimately if you look at it.
Correct. I mean, it would have pushed England really in that. I mean, under pressure. I would say, 5 to 4 runs as extras has probably been the average this year's World Cup. Almost every team has given that many runs, but when you're chasing 137, I think you have to try and save each and every extra. Initially, I felt Pakistan in the power play, especially, was bowling many deliveries on the pads, and I mean that is something I think they felt like they were straying away. And I mean, it was not like Pakistan didn't bowl well, but it was this odd delivery here once in a while, which clipped the pads or went away from the pads, which England really utilized. And also, English running has been just exceptional. I think that's one of the reasons why there's an appeal. I think that's a half an appeal. It's just Rizwan being a bit naughty behind stumps. But I think that's where English running has been really good. They've made sure that they never got bogged down, because there's been some good bowling, especially the past 2 overs. I think now we have had in the last 9
Are you
overs.
just surprised the ball is seaming around throughout the course of this game? Because even in the
Yeah.
11th over now, it's a 31st over of the entire game, and the ball is still seaming around pretty well. Are
But I
you
think
just
MCG
surprised
has
it's
been doing
happening?
that under the lights, right? We saw that when India was facing Pakistan, that similar thing was happening to India, where Pakistanis were able to get the ball to move around a lot more. And I mean, the last two overs have been pretty good. I mean, I think there's probably I have a feeling they'll just go for the review. They should as well. They've got 2 reviews in hand, 9 overs to go. You can definitely go for this a big wicket. So I think they should go for it.
They're not very
Rizwan,
sure about it. I think even Rizwan is
they
not
aren't
sure
very
about
sure
it.
about it. But again, I would just say, go for it. Why not? I mean, you have to reviews. You never know. But yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, last 2 overs, regardless of what the outcome of this review is, you have now almost had, you've only had 3 balls where they've scored runs, which is 4 runs. I mean, 5 runs in the last 2 overs. That means, I think that's just incredible. And 9 dot balls. So a lot of pressure on the two of them. But Ben Stokes, England will be really happy that Ben Stokes is on the pitch, because he has been part of some of these, some of the most difficult wins for England. I think you guys would remember Headingley, where he scored that. He played the gem of a knock with the number 9, and he won that match in the Ashes. I know there was Test match. He had a lot more time. He could have. It was more. The ball was more in his court. Here, he has a time constraint, the balls to face, but he could be the batsman if he continues to stay there for quite some time. I think there'll come that one delivery where he'll get going. You need a wicket. You need it now. I think the reviews has been turned down because there's
Yeah.
nothing really.
There was nothing really on the. I think it was just a desperate measure to put some
Yeah.
pressure on England, and also they thought
But I
if
mean,
at
it
all it
makes
gets on
sense. You
them.
have only 8 overs left. I think you have 2 reviews. Why not go
Hmm.
for it, right?
With 55 odd runs needed of 48 balls, I mean, still you have a gap of 7 odd deliveries, and that's where I think England will be looking for one good over. They will be targeting on one of the bowlers for sure. They'll know that they'll have to make one big over to kill the game right there. Once they get the run rate below 6, then they'll believe that it's their game.
Yeah.
So until now, I mean, it's been last 2 good overs. Naseem and Shadab has really bowled well the last couple of overs, and I think Harry Brooks will look to take on someone like a Shadab. He's good playing spinners, and he's done well.
Mhm.
He's done well like a Shadab even in that series where they played in Pakistan, where the ball was stopping and turning a lot more. So he looks like a ball. Looks like a player who's much more confident when the ball is spinning. He looks like that Asian kind of a player. He's got shots over covers. He's got a good sweep shot, and he and Bender
Yeah.
could. I remember in the T20 series were really piling the pressure on the Pakistani spinners as well. So that's how it's going to be interesting to see this particular phase how Harry Brooks plays Shadab Khan. And Shadab is also a very smart customer. He knows that
Yeah.
Harry Brooks is going to use his feet. So is he going to shorten his length? That's going to be interesting to see.
I mean, right now, I mean, the win predictor shows 15% Pakistan, but I have a feeling, I don't really agree with that. I think Pakistan at this stage is probably a 40 at least, because you are seeing a tide change. Yeah, I was just going to say that, you're just seeing the tide change, and a wicket just at the right time, the wicket has fallen for Pakistan because the tide is changing slightly. You're not getting runs. You knew the shot was coming. And once again, brilliant bowling from Shadab. He bowled it wide at the tram line, required Brooks to go after the ball, and we got the wicket. And we saw that was the plan right from the last over as well, when Ben Stokes was batting is all leg stump. I mean leg stump, and when Harry Brooks was batting is all off stump, and it's really worked. wonders for Pakistan, and that's a very good catch, by the way, by
Yeah, it was.
Shaheen
It was.
Afridi.
It
Yeah.
was. I think it's going to be interesting to see how the game turns from here on. Uh, how the new
I
batters are
mean,
going to
would you
take it
bring
on.
in I know you have Ben Stokes right now, but would you bring in a Moeen Ali? Just play a dash and knock right now.
Possible. I mean, it is possible. Or maybe bring in Sam Curran to do
Yeah,
that.
I think
He's
Shaheen is in some pain. I think that probably that catch that he took, it was at an awkward angle. Maybe that's the reason why. There was an incident with Harris Roth as well when he went
I
back to
mean,
the pavilion.
that's going to be a
He
major
seemed
issue if
better.
Shaheen is
This I think
going to.
seems very bad. This seems bad, guys. I mean, this seems like he seems to be limping away, and he seems to be in a lot of discomfort.
Yeah, I mean, he's just coming off an injury as well. Let's not forget that.
Yeah,
And
that's
there's
the
really
bigger worry because it was I mean which leg was it? If you remember correctly, I don't
I think it
exactly
was his
remember.
right leg. It's the leg right now which he's holding.
Yeah, that's my point. It is the right leg that he's holding right now, and they've sent Moeen Ali in, so maybe
I mean, I would
I've
have
got it.
I would have been interested to see someone like a Sam Curran come and finish the game off. Maybe lesser important wicket. Uh,
Yeah,
Go
interesting
out there.
stat,
Sam
right?
Curran,
Interesting stat that he's got 115 strike rate, Moeen Ali, in this World Cup. So he's
even
not
if
played
Shaheen
like
is coming back to ball from here on, if he does, he's not going to be completely fit. And remember, today he already got hit on the leg once by Phil
yeah.
Salt, if I'm not wrong. So I think that really, made his
I think
legs get stuck on the ground. Maybe that's the reason, you know,
hmm,
he's feeling the pain. I'm not quite sure what exactly is the reason. We are not experts, and we've switched off the commentary as well, so we do not know.
yeah.
Yeah,
Correct. I think we probably will might just get an update soon enough, but I think, I mean, from what I understand, maybe, I think he's probably twisted it while he's taking this catch because it seemed like, he went down on his knee. Probably he wasn't, I don't think he meant to go down on his knee because it was a catch, it was at a catchable height. He hadn't had to move a lot as well. I
yeah,
just think he probably went down unexpectedly, took a very, very good catch. It was a reflex catch, but it seemed like it was on purpose, and that's probably what has happened, what's gone wrong. And as you mentioned, he did get hit on that leg. But Phil Shaw, that will be, at least if nothing, it will be stinging him because I mean, if you've played cricket with a season ball before, you know how bad it is when when it hits you. And imagine a batter who's probably hitting the ball back after you've delivered it at him, at 100 miles per hour. So, but Shadab's now really become important because you don't know if
if
Shaheen
Shaheen
Shah.
does not ball, then they'll have to turn to someone like a Nawaz at some stage,
Yeah, yeah,
or even
and that's
Iftikhar.
why I said I think they probably go with Iftikhar because they've really not trusted Nawaz, and I think today as well. Probably the reason for that is they've had when Ben
And that's
Stokes has
the
been
over
back.
which England is going to target. Maybe go for at least 10-15 runs that over, kill the
Even if
game.
Shaheen
If
comes
Shaheen has
back,
got 2 overs to ball,
yeah, and even if Shaheen comes back, do you think he'll be bowling at that same pace, at that same intensity?
so
Because
I
that's
think
a
England will be looking to target those 2 overs, which
yeah.
Pakistan will be giving to them,
To be
and that's
very
where
honest,
Pakistan.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, that's where Pakistan, I personally feel, will be under pressure right now. Babar Azam will have to do a
Absolutely.
smart job here. I think he should get 1 over away at this point in the game because England have not gotten away. Maybe get 1 over at least off, and let's then see where things go. Because Shaheen coming
Hmm.
back, it's still a 50-50 call. You do not know what kind of Shaheen will be coming back. If he comes back, he's not able to ball in the full pace, and he'll have to ball effort balls as well. It's not easy to go out there and ball Yorkers. You still have to put in a
And
lot
I
of
think
effort. And you
this
don't
is
want
a
Shaheen
pitch.
to be pulling up in middle of an over. That's even worse.
Yeah. Correct. And I think for me, this is a very good pitch for someone like Nawaz to ball because the ball is gripping. It's I wouldn't say it's turning a mile. I mean, Shadab is someone who turns the ball quite well when he's looking to turn. That was close. Could have had Stokes' head there. I mean, forget the stumps. I think it would have very close to the. It would have probably smashed into his helmet.
Yeah.
And but this is gonna be a very close match. But I think the risk of bowling Nawaz is the fact that he's not balled throughout this final. He's not balled 1 over yet, and one boundary here can suddenly bring the match back into England's favor again. So
Yeah.
that's the reason why probably but then this is the best over to do it because if Nawaz does go for runs, you can bring a Naseem back or I think that's the boundary right there. No, it's not. The outfield also, there was an incident I remember where I think it was Phil Salt was batting when the ball got stuck in the grass and it did not move at all.
Yeah,
The
it's been
outfield
raining
looked
quite
very
a lot
sus.
in Melbourne over the
Yeah,
last 4 days, and hence we are seeing that kind of heavy outfields which have been formed out
yeah,
uh, on the square, and it's not easy to even get field in the outfield because your legs can get stuck, and it's a sand based ground at the end of the day. So there are heavy chance of
mm,
injuries, especially when you're fielding on the outfield, your legs getting stuck. Um, and these kind of injuries are freak injuries, and you don't want to have those, especially in a World Cup final. But as of
correct.
now, it just looks like it's even tough to clear the square with the outfield being really heavy. And remember, there was slight bit of drizzle going on as well.
Yeah, yeah. And that's gonna make things interesting because uh, I mean it doesn't seem too heavy for players to go out. I mean off the pitch, but then if anything of that sort happens, England will be a lot more confident because they are looking. I mean DLS doesn't consider the future dot balls. It just consider what has happened in the past, and England right now look confident. At least it's just Pakistan have applied a lot of pressure on them, and World Cup competitions. I mean the 50 out of 40 is not as easy if you consider bilaterals. There's much more confidence, there's much more, you're free a lot more, but here I think you would expect 50 out of 40 is still a tricky chase, but and you're seeing that Ben Stokes trying to get off strike, but he's getting stuck at one place, not able to get out off strike. Moeen Ali as well is not looked as fluent, and I think, to be very honest, I think if the difference between the runs and the balls becomes 16 or more, I think England will start feeling that pressure a lot more, because throughout this match they have been able to maintain that runner ball. They haven't gone far away. Now coming deeper and deeper as you go, because even if it becomes like 12 to win of 8, that's when Pakistan gets more and more heavier and Pakistan's chances get more and more better. So the deeper it goes, the much more chances Pakistan has, especially if a wicket of Stokes falls right now. He's not playing well. 20 of 28 is just a innings which is sinking England down right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's not really gotten going throughout. He's looked very uncomfortable from the word go. Uh, I mean, that's been Stokes throughout this World Cup. He's looked very uncomfortable. He's not really gotten going. He's been getting stuck on multiple occasions, except the knock against Sri Lanka where he guided the team home.
But
Even
even
there,
then,
he took his time.
yeah,
Took
he
his
got a
time.
lot of support from his.
He was not looking at his fluent best there. So, it'll be interesting to
Yeah,
see what happens from here on for Ben Stokes. Can he get that one shot away, which will give him a lot of confidence?
I mean, he's become too big to fail now, Abel, because he's played 5 overs. He's he's again off. He's again going to be on strike. But a
Yeah.
great comeback from Naseem Shah, by the way. I mean, he's bowled two really good overs. He went for plenty. He went for a little bit, initially, and to finish at 30, he's bowled really well to come back, and he's bowling well at the right time. So you would
Yeah,
somehow say he's peaking at the right time, but I think he's also balled out now, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, he's balled
I
out.
think he's
He's
balled
balled
out.
out,
Yeah.
and now I think that pressure will come a little bit on Babar Azam, because
So as we
there's one thing,
stand,
right?
Shadab is balled out. Naseem
Yeah,
is balled out. Shaheen has
two
got
of your
two.
best bowlers today,
So
probably.
Shaheen has got two. Harris has got two, and Wasim has got two. And you got what 6 overs to play with. So those are
Yeah.
6 overs. You have to really be careful.
I
And
think
that
I
two
have a
overs
feeling,
of Shaheen Afridi.
yeah.
It's going to
I
be
have a
very
feeling he
crucial.
will. I have a feeling now what they're going to do is they're going to bring Shaheen. Oh, Shaheen's already on the pitch, so this is a good news. Very good news for Pakistan. He seems to be running as well. I mean, he isn't obviously running at full throttle, but he seems to be, that problem is gone. It seems, at least probably hoping it was a cramp or not as bad as what it seems. But yeah, I think looking at him right now, this is going to be an interesting match. If he's at full throttle, 6 overs, Wasim Jr., Harris Roth, Shaheen Shafridi, not gonna be easy. It's not gonna be easy to get away with any of these bowlers unless you have a Matthew Wade in your team. Pakistanis will be hoping no one plays that kind of a knock, because he has been a little predictable as we were speaking, especially during the power play,
Look,
because he did go
Shaheen
for a
has
long
been looking
play.
a little ginger. He's come back into the
Yeah.
field. Still got the limp on. So
Oh, I
interesting
think
there.
no. Ben Stokes is. I think at this point in time it's hit or get out for him. It's just simple as that.
The
But that's the
World Cup
point, right?
finals and World Cup T20 World Cup finals and Ben Stokes have never been a good story. So I
Yeah,
mean,
I
he's
hope he
been
doesn't. I hope he doesn't ruin it with the bat as well. It's gonna take a toll on a player. Because last time England were in the finals, he was the one who, it seemed like England's match for the whole till the 15th over. 15th over onwards is when West Indies really got going. They started playing their calypso flair, and in the last over 19 of six in a World Cup final, you would expect that team to do well. But then again, that was my point from earlier. Abel. That team as well came into this tournament with no one predicted that is going to be the West Indies are going to win the World Cup. But that team had a lot of vendetta. You would say they had a lot to
Well,
prove.
actually, West Indies team,
And
people expected them. The moment they announced
but
themselves
they were a
defeating
lot more
England,
dominant. That I'll
I
give you.
thought
Yeah.
I thought that team had it in them because I remember the innings which Gale had played in Mumbai. They scored 100 against England, and that's when we
Yeah.
thought, okay, this team has got something about them. And then they went on to really be on a roll. They lost to Afghanistan in between, but still, I think some of the best teams in this World Cup, they have a loss in between, then they come back pretty well. So that's how it is,
I think
basically.
there's a catch has been dropped. If I'm not wrong, is it a catch
It's a
or
tough chance. It was a tough chance.
it
So
was? But I mean, I don't know who would have been happier. Would England have been happier
I
or
mean, this is the over England
Pakistan?
are looking to take the attack on. I think Moeen Ali also will be looking to take the attack. I
Was
mean,
gonna
I would have
face?
rather have had Liam Livingston to come at this point. Left-right
Yeah, I
combination never.
think maybe you also have to give to the fact that I think when I said you should bring in Moeen Ali, I did not look at the scoreboard and did not see that Shadab was bowling his last over. Now that Shadab is gone, probably Liam Livingston would have been your right option because he's very good square of the wicket and he can
He
be that
likes the
person.
pace on the ball
He
a
likes to
lot.
pace on the ball, and you only have got fast bowlers now for Pakistan.
Interesting to see where things go from here on.
But I think
Moeen
they have
Ali,
England has decided. At least Moeen Ali is probably looking to settle down, and I think the idea is for Stokes to go after the bowling now. Because if you look at the shots that Moeen Ali has played, it's been a lot more. I would say a lot more
I think
laid
they need
back.
a couple of boundaries to really, get the pressure
Yeah,
off.
yeah, correct. Before it was,
I think
but that's the
Shami
point.
is still not looking comfortable, is what I'm able to see, and
Yeah, yeah.
that's going to be a huge worry at this point.
I mean,
If
talking about win predictors come from 15 to 34 percentage now, and dot balls are really piling up. I think
and Ben
Rizwan in a
This
classical
one is appeal for
Pakistani.
everything which has come to even
Yeah,
a batsman needs
it's
his
a trait that Pakistani cricketers have. Wicket keepers have generally. They just love appealing for almost everything. I can't think of a wicket keeper that I have never seen appeal for everything. Every what do you say? Hit and miss is a wicket if you are a Pakistani wicket keeper.
Yeah, I mean there is pressure right there.
Yeah.
Ben Stokes will need a boundary, and Ben Stokes is
No,
really looking for a boundary at this point.
he seems just stuck right now. He's tried to. I
I
think
think he's
in the
trying to
previous
go
over,
way too hard. I think he should just keep his balance. It's so important to keep a balance.
he isn't looking comfortable at all. In the previous over, he's trying to just score singles. He's not
And
getting
if he
four.
can
That,
get
and
one
that's got
boundary
you.
away, he's going to look a
I think that's
lot
got him
better.
through. That's a beautiful shot. Back of the
It's
length. That's what he needed. It was the middle of the bat. That kind of shot, was an effortless shot. And as you said, he maintained his balance. He saw the ball right through to the bat,
yeah,
and that's a proper cricketing shot. They needed that. They absolutely needed it.
absolutely needed that. Correct. And this now, this releases a lot of pressure on England's team as well because until now, what was
Yeah.
happening was that there was dot balls which were mounted. If there would have been one more dot ball, the momentum would have shifted on Pakistanis. And now
Then
one boundary,
45
though you will see it's
30,
only
yeah.
4 runs, boundary is a boundary at the end of the day, psychologically and
Correct.
also for Ben Stokes personally. He's not really look good. If England go on to lose from here, that's a criminal knock which he has played, and we keep playing. And Shaheen is back to bowling. Interesting how
But I
this
think
over is.
you know what? If you look at right here, I think Shaheen is not warming up here. He is looking whether he's able to run properly in or not. It is, he's still a little worried about his leg. But
Yeah,
I think this is a very I don't know if it is a very difficult time for Babar Azam. What do you do right now? I mean, do you make sure that that Shaheen Afridi balls out his overs so that if he's injured he can go back and then he can take that rest because you don't want to lose that intensity, or do you keep Shaheen Afridi for the back half and hope that he gets better as time progresses, give him some treatment, get
Hmm.
the physio, maybe get him on the massage table, and then put him back on the field? It's a very difficult question right now because you also gonna if Shaheen Afridi is gonna ball, he's also one of your fielders out there, and right now England can't can I mean rather Pakistan cannot hope to get down when it comes to intensity. There we go. I think he isn't looking comfortable. He isn't looking comfortable at all.
Yeah, he
And
isn't looking comfortable, and this is a bad news. I mean,
Yeah.
he's gonna go, he's gonna ball, but he's not able to get his run up. Welcome, Sandeepani. How do you see this game panning out? Because at this time, on a normal occasion, we'll say yes, advantage England, but the World Cup final, Ben Stokes hasn't looked comfortable. Pakistani ballers trying to pile up pressure. Is it even Stevens at this point, or you'll say still advantage England?
I would still say with 8.2 runs required of the last five, it is advantage England, especially because Shaheen Shafridi is struggling. 2 overs
He's
from
struggling
Shaheen
big time.
Shafridi, 2 overs from
He's struggling big
yeah,
time at this
2 overs from Shaheen Shafridi, 2 overs from Mohammad Wasim, and 1 over from Haris Rauf. So I think 41 is gettable with, especially with 6 wickets in hand. You have somebody of Liam Livingstone's caliber still in the hut. Having said that, I am very agonized by the fact that Ben Stokes has been playing the way he is. It's not something that you expect of Ben Stokes. And come the T20 World Cup final, we have seen Ben Stokes play.
I mean,
Something
Shaheen Afridi is
happens to
going
him.
off. Shaheen
We
Afridi
saw
is
in the
going off
26.
against.
Yeah,
Shaheen
I think
Afridi is
China
going
is
off.
going off. Oh, that's not good.
Oh,
And
Yeah,
especially
that
because
is
now,
that is
you know why this is not good? Because he's balled one delivery, which means Babar Azam will have to either go to one of his pacers, and then they won't get, if anyone balls right now, that one delivery will be gone. Unless Shaheen Afridi comes back. And even then, you know that
I think with
because
two
ballers
left
can't.
I think with two left-handers in, I think he's definitely going to go
Yeah,
with
he's gone
if
with Iftikhar. Yeah.
Iftikhar
he's
Ahmed.
gone with
I think
Iftikhar.
that's
He's
the
gone with
only
Iftikhar.
logical
But this is the
yeah,
over
I
for
But
think
I
this
England.
thought
was the
it
only
was ridiculous from Pakistan's
option
end
he
as well
had.
to force him in. There was no absolute need to force him in. I think he should have been given some more time or not even get him to ball, because it just does not make any sense for bringing Shaheen Afridi.
This is Pakistan. I mean, this is England's over
Definitely, you
now.
had 2 overs from Mohammad Wasim as well, so you could have gotten that in the meantime. He could have Afridi could have come in after 2 overs. Probably he would have felt a bit better. But having said that, I think at a stage where Shadab Khan was bowling really well, they could have they could have probably used Iftikhar Ahmed over there as well, 1 or 2 overs of him, just to take the load off of Ben Stokes. I mean, Shaheen Shafridi.
This is, I mean, just speaking about it, I think this is the over now. England should go after the bowling. Iftikhar is bowling his first over in today's match. Enormous pressure because he's literally filling in Shaheen Shafridi's shoes now. So this is the over you have to go after. Maybe there's also a chance for Pakistan to get a few wickets, but England need to go full throttle. Very close chance. At least that shows that is what their idea is. I think a lot of pressure now. England can't keep batting like this. This is getting too deep for for England's liking. And I mean, to
And
be very
Bhuvan
honest,
also show some intent. He has not shown no intent. He's shown absolute zero intent whatsoever now.
yeah. I mean, England right now are under. I mean, in comparison, Pakistan has scored more runs. Oh, that's the boundary they needed. They need one more boundary just to put that pressure on on Pakistan. And I think Iftikhar being a non-bowler, I would say of sorts, or rather a part-timer, you would expect now his confidence is shaken a little bit. And now the next
Yeah.
ball becomes very important because it happens many a times, right? I mean, a lot of times the part timers are okay. There we go. I think that's gone for a six. That's exactly what they
Yeah.
needed. They needed this big time,
Big over,
the
and we
first
expect it to
possible
come in.
time. I think. So here's my problem, right, with this whole situation. If Shaheen Shafridi was not 100% fit, you shouldn't have brought him to ball that one over because now that's gone
Yeah, this
completely
could have
against.
gone anywhere. I mean, I wouldn't have
Yeah.
minded, maybe wait for a little bit of time and see what would have happened. Finish Mohammad
It
Wasim's
was
over,
a
as Sandeepani
huge
mentioned.
gamble. It was a huge gamble, and it's gone the wrong way. It's
I think
gone the
Shaheen
wrong way.
won't be able to come back now. He's ruled out possibly of the match as well. And that's not good news because he got injured in the same leg which he was rehabilitating on. And remember, he was not fully fit throughout this World Cup. Let's all accept that. He's never looked fit
Yeah,
throughout this World Cup. So, it was a gamble. I don't think it was a gamble worth taking.
yeah, and I mean, also, you know what? Now, what that has done is that Ben Stokes will be feeling very confident. He'll be very confident. He will have felt like a weight has lifted off his shoulders. He's got 10 runs in 2 balls. Now he's looking at, he's scoring at a cycle
Now
of
you need
102.
less, more than 6 runs per over. I think one more good
Yeah,
over and the game is going to be almost in England's
yeah.
hand.
And Pakistan cannot concede a boundary at all.
Remember,
And
there's
also,
one more over to be getting rid of. I think Babar Azam will use the same tactics of bringing the spinner in the last over.
Probably, yeah. Oh, that's gone to the fence as well, I think. Yup, there's no one there. I think the momentum has changed. The
I
momentum is
think now it's
definitely
England winning
changed
from here
now.
on. They've really
Yeah,
now
yeah,
this is England, right? The moment they
yeah. I mean,
sniff something, they're gonna press the
you look at the ground, you look at the fans, you look at the players. You can see Moeen Ali, the way he walked towards Ben Stokes. You saw there was a skip in his step, and as you saw the camera pan the Pakistani players, you saw there's a little wind has been knocked out of them. I think that's what I said earlier as well in the preview, right? Something where you force the captain to go away from the comfort zone, and suddenly you will find a captain struggling. And Babar Azam has been guilty of it right
So
now.
that's
Things have
another
been
four.
really away.
That's another
Yeah,
four,
another
and
one.
I think that is possibly the game. I mean, unless something miraculous happened from here on. Sandeep, your thoughts? I mean, last
24
four
runs.
balls,
24 balls
you've
now.
gotten close to 18 runs, and that is possibly the game. That is what England were targeting, and 18 runs in last four balls is really put Pakistan now in the back
Yeah,
foot, big
18 and a
time.
half balls too.
Yeah, this was, I mean, bound to happen. 8.2 of the last five. I mean, Pakistan just did not have enough runs on the board. Kudos to them. They fought really hard. They picked up early wickets in the power play to take the game close. But 138 on this pitch was probably below par. But having said that, I
Yeah.
mean, nothing is below or above par in Australia right now, because we have seen all the games go down to the wire, and it's all about intent at the end of the day. And I think the middle phase, Harry Brooks coming in at number 5 under huge pressure after having lost both Butler and Hills. That partnership with Ben Stokes came at the right time. I was a bit disappointed from England's batting perspective. After the 10th over, they took it a bit easy, a bit too easy. They scored
Yeah.
only 20 of the next 5. I think that is where somewhere they could have actually won the game. Themselves, they knew they have enough firepower in their tank, and I think now it's just a cakewalk for them. Another
Yeah, it's.
2, and I think 17 of 20, you'll
Yeah.
get it done any day.
And
I
you're
mean,
also
now
seeing
this
that
is a
Ben Stokes is
cakewalk.
Also,
back.
17 of
Yeah.
20, and also add to that, you have to get 1 over out from Iftikhar Ahmed, presumably, because
Yeah.
if a wicket falls, I expect if they gamble with Mohammad Nawaz, even Sam Curran can come in. So you might have 3
No, I
left-handers,
don't
and
think they'll
also
go to
Liam
Mohammad
Livingstone
Nawaz
loves playing spin.
ever
So
in the 20th over now. I mean, Babar Azam is a safe captain. He'll never go to Mohammad Nawaz. In fact, I really felt when Shadab was bowling that well. He was getting the ball to they could have given that over to
16
Mohammad
out
Nawaz.
of
I know there
19
were
now, and I think
left-handers who
we
were
lost
batting,
Jaren for a brief time.
but that was the
I think we
stage,
lost
where
both
you should have
Jaren
gone
and
with Mohammad
Sandipani there.
Nawaz.
Um, yeah, I think we lost Jaren and Sandipani right there, but nonetheless, we're back. Yeah, talking about that, I think it is now, matter of time, and I think Harris Raw will be bowling the next over to at least pile some bit of pressure, maybe pick up a wicket to, shift the pressure slightly on England's camp to make them feel
I
okay.
think
There's a
the
wicket.
game can be done within the next
Okay,
over
that's it.
itself.
That's it.
12
There's
of
another
18. I
four.
think, well,
There's
they'll
another.
probably respect Harris Roth.
I don't
Yeah,
think they
they'll
will.
probably respect Harris Roth in the next over, just play him
I
out,
don't think they
or
will.
probably they might
I don't
even
think
go
they
after
will.
him as well.
No,
So
no,
I
no.
think
Sadhimani, this is
it's done
classic
right now.
England. They've got 6 wickets in hand. They've played the waiting game. I think after the
Yep.
3 wickets lost, they lost. Both Stokes and Harry Brooks kind of. I don't know if that was something that
26
was
runs
told
of
to them.
last 7 balls.
Yeah.
Remember, 8 balls. And that is
This is an
really
England team now which has 6 wickets in their hands. There's Liam Livingston to come in. And England will not be looking at it 12 runs. England will be like 2 sixes, 3 boundaries. That's all they're looking at. And they've got 18 balls to do it now.
I
I
mean,
think
let's
this
just.
is
I
the
think we
end.
will
Pakistan
talk as
scored
if
just
England has
53
won
in their
another
last
World Cup.
9, and
I
Pakistan
think,
scored just 31 in their last 5. I think that is where they
Yeah,
lost the game.
that's where this will come to
yeah,
haunt
absolutely.
them.
I mean, if they would have had 20 runs more, this could have possibly been a game. But even then, I still think Ben Stokes really took the game a little deeper. That was not needed. He should have played one shot. He would have gotten going, and that's Ben Stokes. And Moeen Ali, this
Definitely
is the
not
ability
needed.
which
If
Moeen Ali
Shaheen
has.
Shah Afridi could have, yeah, if
Yeah,
Shaheen Shah
but
Afridi would have been fit right now, and if he would have bowled those 2 overs, and then they couldn't have that acceleration that they had in the over of Iftikhar Ahmed. Without those 2 boundaries, I think it would have gotten a lot closer, especially Harris Raw coming in and bowling that 1 over. If Shaheen Shah Afridi could have come in and bowled a very good over and wouldn't have got injured, then I think that innings from Ben Stokes would have been the deciding factor in the game, because you
it'll be
had wickets in
interesting to see
hand,
if
and after 10 overs with 7 wickets in hand, with the
Guys,
firepower that you have, you should go.
There's an interesting stat right here. So that you know that 4 balls in Iftikhar and then Mohammad Wasim's first over, in England scored 18 runs. That's exactly the score that Pakistan scored in their last 4 overs. That is going to hurt Pakistan big time because they never really. I think in the last 5 overs, all they did was give catching practice to the English players.
I thought another thing is that the moment they lost Shan Masood, who was batting really well, that's when the pressure started mounting on them even more. Iftikhar's wicket was a big turning point as well. Babar Azam, I thought it was a blessing in disguise to an extent because he was never there. He was never comfortable today the whole time. He got few chances as well. And him getting out to googlies in finals have been now a trademark thing. He has been really struggling against leggies, and he'll be struggling a big time. Remember,
That was a
starting
heck
way
of a
back in
ball.
Asia Cup or before that.
That was a
Yeah.
heck of a ball. I don't think anyone could have played that ball. I don't think Adil Rashid turns googly this much. I mean, he has a good googly. I'm not saying he has a bad googly, but
And
his googly
I think
doesn't
it's just not
turn
the
as much.
googly, it's also the bounce which got him, right? Caught him at the
Yeah,
top.
yeah, it just jumped off the track, and I think it's also the two-paced nature of the track. If you guys can, if you look at the ground
Yeah.
itself, you'll see that there are different shades of green on it,
Oh
and
no.
that's what Ian Bishop had said earlier as well. That some patches are green and some patches are dry, and I think it hit that green patch
Okay,
of
now I'll
enough.
ask the biggest question here, yeah? Has Kudrat Ka Nizam finally run off?
I think Kudrat Ka Nizam helped Adil Rashid and
I
Moeen
think
Ali
Abel,
in Pakistan.
more than Kudrat ka Nizam, I think just to answer that, I think 170 for zero is always superior than 152 for zero. So this was bound to happen.
Okay.
Whoa, shots. I think Sandeep is already starting. He's already aiming his gun. Soon enough, maybe 8 runs more, and he'll start firing.
Yeah, I think you
But
guys
yeah,
enjoy. I'll just join you guys in the post match live right now. I'll
Well,
sign off
this
right
is
now. I'll just join
yeah,
yeah,
I
you
think
you
he's
guys.
can
just
join
going
us.
to.
This is the same link. You can join us. We are going to be continuing post match. We'll go more in
Yeah.
detail, but we will celebrate England's win. I'm
Or
calling it
you
early.
never know. You never know. You never know. You never know.
Okay, okay,
No, no.
I'll
I
wait.
think right now you know. Right now it's
Okay,
I
okay,
a
think
wait.
game
What is the
that only
possibility of a
England
hat trick?
can lose.
Guys, you remember that series in Pakistan where England were pretty comfortable? I think Ben Duckett it was 5 runs needed of with 3 wickets remaining, and Harris Raw picked up 2 wickets. And the pressure was back, so I think it's early. Let's
you
wait for
never
one
know.
more
It's
over. If
true.
one more good
You know
over
why I
from
tell you guys it's early, right? I think now
But
once the
no,
12th
Abel,
over starts,
Harris Rauf is bowling himself out, so you just have one over from Mohammad Wasim, and then you have to bowl Mohammad Nawaz or Iftikhar Ahmed.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, fair enough. But you know what my point is? My point is
Who do
right
you think
now.
Mr. Sudhir is supporting today? The Sachin Tendulkar fan.
I think he's just missing Tendulkar. That's all.
That's what
He
he does
brought
all
the
the time.
tickets. He brought the tickets. India couldn't buy their tickets, and now he has to cash it.
Oh yeah. Okay, because there was a lot of uncanny resemblance with 1992. Where do you think they were unable to execute that final bit, especially when it comes to 1992?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
Sanjivan.
talking about 1992, I think it was the Pakistani bowling unit that actually came back and rattled England in the 92 World Cup final. It had been the Pakistani bowling that spearheaded their campaign in this World Cup, T20 World Cup, and after that defeat against Zimbabwe, they just came back so strong, went on to defeat South Africa, went on to defeat New Zealand, Bangladesh, and Netherlands in their way. They had a hot streak of 4 consecutive wins that took them to the finals, and it had been their bowling department that was spearheading the attack. 4 pacers, the quartet of pacers have been fabulous throughout this tournament. Shahin Shah Afridi, Haris Rauf, Naseem Shah, and Mohammad Wasim, I think they have done a commendable job. And just to add to that, I think Sharaf Khan has been the best leg spinner in this T20 World Cup. So it's five bowlers who have actually dominated, and that has helped Pakistan to reach the finals. Along with it, there have been some crucial contributions with the bat as well. Shan Masood has stepped up and delivered for the team. Iftikhar Ahmed, probably not today, but has delivered for the team in general. You have had Mohammad Harris come in the last 3-4 games, had an impact on the game, had an impact on the tournament. And then Babar Azam and Mohammad Rizwan stepped up when it mattered the most for the team in the semi-finals. So there has been a all-round effort from Pakistan. But with this England team, they were the favorites heading into this tournament. 6 needed of 10 with 5 wickets in hand.
Well, that's a
Anything can
wicket.
happen, but England are. Yeah. Six. Yeah, Moeen Ali just got dismissed. So 6 of 10 with 5 wickets in hand. I think it's still England. Pretty much England. They have Liam Livingstone, Sam Curran, and I think it's a great job. Going to be a great achievement for England. A team that had been written off after the 2015 World Cup. Coming in now, they would be the World Cup champions and the T20I World Cup champions. What a
Yeah.
redemption story for them in white ball cricket.
Well and truly, well and truly. I think they totally deserve it. They've really played outstanding cricket. Let's all accept it. It's been that kind of a tournament. We did predict that it's England's World Cup to lose at the start of the World Cup because they were the best team. They peaked at the right time when it mattered the most, and they really came out, really smashing throughout this World Cup.
But you know what? That wicket has come at the right time for Pakistan because a new batter, you never know how Liam Livingstone will have to get going. A lot of pressure.
I mean, come on,
And
man. 6 of 10.
see,
What
here's
is
the
the
thing, right?
possibility of a turnaround
If
from
Liam
here?
Livingstone would have come in with 16 of
I'm
10,
not
I would have
saying-
still
I'm not
understood that
saying-
England would have been
I'm
in
not
pressure.
I'm not saying that the
You know,
possibilities.
come on,
All I'm
Jared.
saying is
You
there is a
know, if
possibility.
this was 1952, I would have really accepted that, or new batter in the crease. Come on, even 1980s, this is still a cakewalk, man.
Yeah, I mean, it should be, but the possibility isn't.
Even if
far
there's a
away.
hat trick from here on, it's England's game.
It is England's game for sure.
Even if there is a
I'm not
hat trick from
saying-
here on, you still have the likes of Chris Jordan and Chris Wokes coming in and chasing
Yeah.
6 of 8 or
Yeah.
6 of 7. That is still
And
pretty
remember,
easy.
the last over is going to be ball by
Sam
spinner.
Curran. Sam Curran is there yet to come.
Yeah.
No. If you have a hat trick, I think I was expecting if you had a hat trick, Liam Livingstone and Sam Curran would have been dismissed. But
Okay.
yeah,
Fair enough.
But you know what? If you were to draw reference in 1992, 1992, they got enough runs on the board. They got close to 262 on the board, which is very good. In 1992, 262 in a final is a very good score. If they would have had 160 today, 160, 20-run shot, that's what they felt ultimately. If they would have 160, they would have felt a world of good. They would have
I
felt
mean, in the
much,
final
much.
overs, you scored at 6.2 runs per over.
and
That's going to
with
the
that
fence.
boundary,
That's going to the
we
fence.
have
That-
scores
Because there
tied.
are no possibilities
One
now.
needed of
There
eight.
are no possibilities.
I think. Jared, do you still
And what a
believe England-
redemption story for Ben
Stokes
Stokes as
has
well.
redeemed himself.
2016
Stokes-
T20 World Cup finals was the
Yeah.
antagonist for the team. Come to 2019
Oh,
World
what an
Cup, he
off.
was
I
there
think we
when
should just
England
give him a
won it
clap,
in every super over.
Ben Stokes is a man for the big occasion, and he's
Yeah, I
proven
think
it
ever
again,
since
man.
that match, Ben Stokes has been England's man for the occasion. Sri Lanka match where they were pretty tight, he won them that match. Headingley
Balls
he's done
the
that
big
piece.
arm. Yeah, absolutely.
But I
Good,
think
good.
I'll be honest, the game really changed when Shaheen Shafidi came to ball that over. That one over. I think Pakistan overall just got winded up. They didn't
Shall
probably
we
had
put
no plan B.
the official song now to?
It's world champions England. It's T20 world
Man,
champions England.
absolutely,
What a
man.
story!
One of
What
the
a story by the
Greatest
team.
stories in
Yeah,
white ball
maybe.
cricket. Well and truly, will go down as the greatest white ball team, the English cricket team of this generation.
Absolutely.
Owen Morgan is going to be catalyst. I hope English team calls Owen Morgan into that
Yeah.
frame.
Yeah.
They deserve it because even Josh Butler did say it yesterday. Owen Morgan is a catalyst. I think Owen Morgan should have a statue outside Lords.
Maybe outside Melbourne. Who knows?
Maybe outside Lords.
And
would be ideal because-
I think not just Ewan Morgan. I think for both the teams, I think for the Pakistan team, it has been
There we go,
been
guys.
Sarfaraz Ahmed who was
there
the
we go.
captain.
That is the England are the
And for
champions.
this England
For
team,
the second
definitely Ewan
time
Morgan.
equaling West Indies, and Ben Stokes it is. What a story. This is iconic.
Ben Stokes. It's
It is-
Ben Stokes.
That's it. We manifested this way before. It is Ben Stokes. He is the greatest all-rounder of our generation. Won them the ODI World Cup, won them the T20 World Cup, redeemed himself. We had Teju saying Ben Stokes will redeem himself today. And ideally, so what a man, what an absolute gem of a cricketer. What a team, right? This has been a team performance. Your thoughts as we just ended the live, the post, the watch along. What do you think about the team of this generation, Jaren? Because 2015, from the ruins to the riches of 2019 and 2022, ending up as a greatest white ball team of this generation, one of the greatest turnarounds in cricketing history, some of the greatest players who have played fearless brand of cricket to be crowned. Kudrat Ka Nizam is off the windows. It is not
No, I mean-
1992. I kept telling to people again and again, 1992 can be put into rubbish. I don't know which dream world they were in, believing in 1992. This English team, I kept telling, it's a tough stop. If it was India in the final, they would still believe. England have swept the floor with them time and time again. And Jaren, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think we've had what do you say, practice matches of some sort, because this England team has played against Pakistan team for like I think 6, 7, 8 matches leading up to this tournament. They had a 7-match series, then they had a practice match as well. I think, if I'm not wrong, and now to come here, and I think England just knew how to play this Pakistani lineup. And one thing I have to say, it was very mature from England. They lost 3 wickets initially. They realized they might have to slow down a little bit, and they picked the moments. They picked their moments, and I think, to be very honest, Pakistan would feel a little hard done, because till that Shaheen Shah Afridi injury, you were expecting them to do well, but then again, they were the ones who pushed Shaheen Shah Afridi to play this tournament, and I think it's gone wrong for them at possibly the worst time right now. And I mean, they played well. You have to give credit to Pakistan from there where they came. They came back from the dead, but it was England's tournament to lose, and it I think England just did not let go of it. And credit to them, absolute credit to them, to change the way they played cricket from 2015. They knew there were things wrong in their system, in their white ball system. They made it was a clean swipe. I mean, and they changed everything. The way they played, the players, and it's really come. What do you say? As they say in football side of things, it is coming home, or it's gone home. Maybe now that you say it's done.
I would just say it's coming home, right? Finally, it's coming home for England. They had started us off. I think they should change the thing of coming home for cricket, because imagine they're going to win a FIFA World Cup from here on. What an year in sporting history, right? And they've got an opportunity to do that. We did discuss on that as well, but let's be honest.
Paul
This is
Collingwood is
an
there in the
iconic moment.
Paul
The Sweet
Collingwood.
Caroline is on. What a moment. I'm getting goosebumps here, because just talking about the story, right? This is an iconic sporting story. We talk about 1992. We all knew Pakistan had a lucky run, to be very fair. I'm being very honest here. Pakistan had a very, things did go in their space. And finally, I personally feel they did play good cricket. Their bowling attack was outstanding. Pakistan bowling attack, even when 138 looked like a 160 score. And they really gave a tough time. But the fact of the matter is, England were just a notch ahead. Sandeepan, your thoughts?
Definitely, I think even at the start, at the preview of this World Cup, we had said that England are the strong favorites on paper. The second and third team were probably India and Australia joined, and then there was this leap of South Africa, Pakistan, New Zealand coming in at the third favorites. Pakistan had a commendable effort to reach the finals. They got New Zealand in the semi-finals, but we had been very vocal about it that the winner of the India versus England encounter was going to the finals as the favorites, because that was the match to look out for. England absolutely thwarted India, and then in the finals, this performance, it was a dominant performance from England. It's not that they had a close encounter with Pakistan as well. Pakistan lacked with the bat. I think the bowling bowling department had been the savior for Pakistan throughout this tournament. Not to be so. At this pitch, not able to defend 138 with this quality batting that the England team had. Finally, the middle order stepped up, and what an occasion to step up. Ben Stokes, Harry Brooks, commendable effort. Brilliant start from Phil Salt, brilliant start from Josh Butler. 138 was not a very difficult total to chase down, but in the finals, you had the pressure was creeping up. They stepped up. England team, you deserve it. World champions for rightful reasons. T20 world champions for rightful reasons. White ball dominance by this England team is going down in the books of history, especially after the disappointing result in the 2015 World Cup, and how the tables have turned. In 7 years, they have turned their white ball cricket by a full circle. It has come down a full circle, and it's a great achievement. Eoin Morgan deserves the world right now, for according to the England fans, and I think he deserves it. He has been the pillar of this England team's growth, and right now I think Josh Butler deserves all the credit. He has led this side beautifully. Babar Azam, well, tactically a bit safe. He was playing it very safe throughout the tournament. Questions on his captaincy will be there, but Pakistan, there is nothing to be ashamed of. They were playing the best team in the World Cup. They lost to the best team in the World Cup. It's a good run for Pakistan as well. But bow down to the T20 World Champions, England, that is.
Yeah, I mean, a
Yeah,
slight bit of
I was
disappointment,
just listening to
definitely.
Ben Stokes and Harry Brooks there, and one thing they were all very clear. They were just saying that they believed that they could win it. They believed that. Yeah, Teju, we were just talking about you while we were doing the show as well. You not join us, so we were talking about it. We did highlight your comment. We were saying that one of our viewers, Teju, did predict this or manifest this. But yeah, as Ben Stokes, Harry Brooks, and everyone were saying, they were saying that they believed at the start of the tournament when they lost to Ireland that this is the team, we are the ones to lose it, and we are the best team in the tournament, and that's a belief which took them to win over India. That was some hammering, and Indians haven't yet recovered and come to the final. Regardless of how it is, they are crowned the world champions. It doesn't matter who was a finalist, who was a semi-final. Now they are the champions. History will remember them to be the joint most successful team to win ICC T20 World Cup. Now, is this not the end? This is not the end for the English cricket and the revolution. That is the scary part. This is as scary as Australia of the 90s, Australia of 2000s, because that is a pedestal they've said. Come the one day World Cup. I think Sandeepan, you're a mute.
Yeah, sorry. I mean, just to think of it, no Bairstow, no Mark Wood, no Jason Roy. The players who had been an integral part of this team, there were youngsters coming in, stepping up. Harry Brooks stepped up at the right time. Phil Salt getting a chance over there, and I think this team, this England team, has a long way to go, because they are still, one might say, they are still going through that transition in T20 World Cups, in T20 cricket at least. With Eoin Morgan stepping down, you have Josh Butler. Although you have had the integral members that were part of the Eoin Morgan World Cup winning side, but still they built a team around it, and I think it's only bright side from here on for England. They can come up and build another proper team around it. There are some other youngsters that will come and step up. But what a commendable job! What a commendable job! It's a different thing to come into the tournament as favorites on books, on paper, but it's another thing to sort of get the job done.
One
After
thing,
that
Sandeep,
loss
I'd just
against
like to
Ireland,
point
they have
out
come back so much.
one thing over here, Sandeepani. When that World Cup started, everyone was so clear. The balance of a T20 team is now defined by England. Regardless of what you have, the balance is now it's England. The pedestal is now England. I think now whatever England is doing, I think teams will try to emulate it, regardless of what it is, to have that extra bit of batting depth. Today, you said there is no Mark Wood, there
Definitely.
is
I
no
mean, 8
Jofra
bowling
Archer.
options and 11 batting options. What all can a captain ask
Absolutely.
for?
Absolutely. They have no Marco, there's no Jofra Archer, there's no Bairstow, and the list goes on. That's what's scary, right? They've no David Malan, who's been an important player for this team. He's been great this year. And regardless of all that, to go out there and win the World Cup is just outstanding. The balance is just amazing, to be honest, for this team. Another thing about this English team is they've been very fearless. I mean, fearless is something which we always associated with West Indies and Australia, but now England is right there. Fearless brand of cricket, and now they showed, template matters, fearless attitude matters, balance matters in T20 cricket. Because if today Pakistan had extra batting options at number 8, 9, who knows? Possibly 10, 15 runs there, and this would have been game on. And England really did believe that. England knew that batting till 11, even if it is like, as we were talking, right? Even if it's 6 of 8, if Pakistan would have picked up a hat trick there, it was still England's game to lose. I mean, England were right on. Like Jordan would have batted with Adil Rashid, who both have like first class hundreds, who've got like great ability to swing the bat. And remember, there's a David Willey who's sitting outside. He opens for his county team as well. Fantastic team. Jaren, your thoughts as well, because Alex Hales, he was not there in the 2019 World Cup. He was dropped for a lot of reasons outside cricket. Now he's back, possibly one of the man of the tournament candidate as well. How do you see the turnaround being? I mean, you're on mute. You're on mute.
I mean, kudos to the England management really, because there were a lot of reasons, a lot of reasons that you felt like his focus was not on cricket at that point in time, at least, because that's the kind of news that was coming out of England. I mean, we don't know, we're not privy to all the things that happened between him and England Cricket Board. But to bring him back, I mean, they could have easily gone with someone else. You could have brought in your egos and All of those things could have come into picture, but they didn't. They knew that he's done it. He worked really hard once he was dropped off the team. He's one of those players who have really, lit up BPL as well. In Australia, he's very familiar with these conditions, and to replicate that in the World Cup, especially when Butler did not look good in the leagues. I mean, in the Super 12 matches, it was always Alex Hales who would be, taking up the mantle, going after the ballers, give that breathing space to Butler, so that Butler can then get into his game. Today, I know he did not play that well. He was balled by a beauty of a ball by Shaheen Afridi, but the fact that, throughout this World Cup, especially against India, for example, against India, I think Butler was the one who was looking a little bit more, a little bit uncomfortable, uneasy. He got a outside edge, if I'm not wrong. He did play against Bhuvneshwar Kumar well, but against Arshdeep, he was looking a little off color. But then you saw Alex Hales come back and smash the ball and really take up that mantle and then put Indian bowlers under pressure. And especially when you have someone like Butler, right? You're always looking to get his wicket, and you're not expecting, or you're hoping that his partner is not the one that you're worried about. But Alex has always made him being that one batter that the ballers are afraid of, especially in the power play. Even today, I mean, I'm not saying Alex Hales contributed today, but on a different note, today, even though they lost 3 wickets, they scored 49 runs, which is really the start that they needed. And a team which has 11 batsmen with them, considering, I'm considering everyone to bat, and 11 batters who can swing the bat. I think 3 wickets, if you lose in the power play, it's not as much of a death blow as would be for the case of India or maybe even Pakistan.
Yeah, I think definitely. I mean, what an innings from Alex Hales throughout this tournament. Even though he did not do well tonight, but you had somebody like a Phil Salt come in and trying to take the attack on the bowlers, because we have seen Butler struggle early on in his innings throughout this tournament. But I don't think it was the case today, because he started to get going right from the second over itself. Nasim Shah bowled those 2 half volleys, and I think Pakistan early on, they were a bit on that leg side line, and England completely took toll of that bowling, and they utilized, they sort of maximized their scoring in those poor deliveries. They were excellent, because the pitch was difficult to bat on, so they were not able to score freely of the beauties that the Pakistan pacers were producing. But any loose deliveries were taken to cleaners. And I think like Teju mentioned, that scoop of the 4th over against Nasim Shah with 2 wickets down at 145 plus kilometer per hour delivery was fantastic, was commendable. But then again, that is the brand of cricket that Josh Butler has been playing for the last 3-4 years. He had said it that in 2019 World Cup he wanted to play that scoop, but he was caught between two minds regarding the situation and everything else. But right now he had that experience matters at this sort of situation. That is why Ben Stokes was there till the end, and Harry Brooks was not there till the end, supporting the team, taking the team through. Ben Stokes has that experience of 2016 T20 World Cup final, 2019 World Cup final, and rightly so. Josh Butler too has that, so he knows his game. He knows what he needs to do to lead his side to the victory, and I think it was beautiful to see them execute it.
Absolutely, I think.
I mean, Ben Stokes has been a clutch player. Even 2019 World Cup, he played a similar innings. I know he couldn't take them all the way in the second innings.
This guy is clutch when the situation demands. I think he's one of the definition of clutch players of this modern era. There were a lot of doubts on Ben Stokes' position in the team, because he hadn't really delivered in the T20I format, right? If you look at his T20I record, I think this is his first 15 T20 internationals, if I'm not wrong, or his second 50. I think it's second 50. I think he scored 50 against Sri Lanka. Did he score 50 against Sri Lanka? Did he? He did, right? So he has not scored a lot of 50s, and he's not really gotten going. His average is just around 20, 25. Strike rate is also not the great. It's in mid 120s. So there were a lot of questions on the England selectors as to whether they should be including Ben Stokes in this team, because without Ben Stokes, they had a very good run. And the moment they had to fit in Ben Stokes, they had to really reshuffle the batting order to really fit him into this role. But then the fact of the matter is, Josh Butler really understands Ben Stokes. Josh Butler has played Ben Stokes throughout his career. They both are the ones who really put up the partnership, even in that World Cup final. And he told, the one thing was very clear was when the situation demands, or when it matters the most, Ben Stokes is going to deliver for you. The must-win game against Sri Lanka. Now look back at it. That knock by Ben Stokes would not have been the most fluent one, but took them over the line. Now this one in a World Cup final where Pakistan could have, Pakistan was sniffing it. They would have actually pounced on the opportunity and put England back on the back foot. So here is where a player of Ben Stokes' caliber, and even with the ball, remember he picked up Iftikhar's wicket. That would have been 20 runs there. He's been phenomenal as a player, as a cricketer, and I think when you talk about some of the all-time greats of English cricket or of world cricket, and in this generation, definitely you remember him for these knocks, regardless of the consistency throughout the bilateral series or outside the World Cup. This guy is something special.
Absolutely. I mean,
Definitely.
what
And I think it was his first T20 I50 tonight. I think against Sri Lanka he scored a 42 not out. I think that is his highest against Sri Lanka. But a commendable, great job, game where the senior most experienced player in your team step up. And I think not just for England, Ben Stokes and Josh Butler has been part of the same team even in the IPL for the Rajasthan Royals unit. They have had some successful campaigns for the side, having played together as well. And I think they understand each other's games perfectly. And once again, I was expecting a Ben Stokes and Butler partnership, but Butler got out at the wrong time from another beauty produced by Harris Roth. And I think Harris Roth did show why he loves MCG. He had a brilliant record in MCG. He bowled brilliantly. He bowled his heart out, but 137 was just not enough. Was just not enough on this track. Was not just enough for the T20I finals for a team that has 11 batting options. They bat very deep, and 138 was never going to be too strong for them.
yeah.
On that note, should we just rejoin for our post match, or should we continue with the watch along itself?
Sam Curran is the player of the tournament as well, so fantastic to him. Fantastic effort by Sam Curran. What a turnaround for Sam Curran as well. Well and truly deserved. Man of the match in the final, player of the tournament. Absolutely deserving.
5 wickets in the first game, 3 wickets in the last game. So he
Wow.
started off brilliantly, ended off brilliantly, and has been brilliant throughout as well, both with
Yeah, and I
batting.
think he deserves it as well because one of England's biggest concern coming into this World Cup was who's going to be a death bowler, and he's just delivered. He's delivered at the right time, and Sam Curran has always been missing. He's always been going in and out of this World Cup. I mean, out of this England team, be it Test or One Day. In Test as well, he had some great performances against India in that series, but then after that, he really never got. I think he got injured after that, and then he never came back into that squad. And now, he's created a niche for himself. He's told the management that I can be this player in this particular time. And I mean, I really hope Teju he goes to
Hey, Aisha, I
CSK.
think just relax. I think this is part and parcel. We pulled ourselves through here during India's 10-wicket defeat. I mean, Pakistan really fought in the final, and I think they really did well.
Yeah,
To be honest, to come to the final and to also given the fight they've given, I mean, you have to give credit to Pakistan, Babar Azam, and the entire team management. Also, Harris Roth. I mean, everybody in the team, they've done a great job. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, we have to say that England were the deserving team. England were the best team of the tournament. England were the best team of the last 6 years. They missed out on 2 World Cups. They missed out on the World Cup back in 2016. They missed out on another World Cup due to New Zealand's brilliance in the last year. And now they hear what they deserve. 2010, I would say, was still a very exciting, and it came out of the blue. It was like you would say it came out of the run of the play, right? It was a little shocking for me when England won that World Cup in 2010, though they played really good cricket. Their side bottom, Collingwood, Kevin
yeah,
Peterson, and Craig Cagewater, who played a brilliant knock in the final as well. So that was a good team, but this is a revolution. I think this is not probably a culmination of the revolution. They are going to really up their accelerator from here on. 2023 World Cup in India, beware, man. This team can take down
Yeah,
anyone.
the difference between the 2010 and the 2022 team is that in 2010 they were not the favorites heading into the tournament. I think
yeah,
Pakistan and Australia were the clean favorites heading into that T20 World Cup. Probably one would have considered India also did not have a very good team. So Pakistan and Australia were the favorites heading into that team. England came in, surprised everyone, and won that final against Australia in 2010 under Collingwood's leadership. And I think they had a bit of a lucky run as well because they did not have the smoothest of sails in 2010, but they had players stepping up for the team when it mattered the most. But when it comes to 2022, they were one of the favorites and probably the strongest team on the paper leading up to this T20 World Cup. They were in great form. They had all the options. So this was expected to happen, and always when the pressure is on you to deliver, when you are the favorites, pre-tournament favorites, it is never easy to win a tournament. In 2019 World Cup as well, the tournament was held in England. They were the host nations. It was not easy. The pressure, everything that had been leading up to that 2019 World Cup. But this team is a very strong mental team as well. They have a team of great character, and I think that just shows when they just come in and just dominate the field, dominated the field in 2019. It was a close final as well. In 2022, it was a smoother sail, apart from the game against Ireland. Even in the game against Ireland, they would have won the game in the long run if it wouldn't have been affected by rain. But yeah,
Mhm.
so yeah. Also, I think Rob Key to some point predicted that England would go on to defeat India
I
and
mean,
Pakistan.
I mean, this is how his prediction has been, right? I mean, he's the first one to predict it, and his prediction has been spot on. Polish the plate. I think Robke says here. I told you when Rob is in control, nobody ain't robbing us. That's great. That's great. Absolutely love
Yeah, I
that.
think he's
Love
been
that.
the key to their success, really, hasn't he?
I mean, Robke. Let's just give it out for him. Rob Key, Andrew Strauss, everyone who's been involved in that revolution, right? I think Morgan deserves all the credit. There needs a statue of Morgan, guys. Let's all be very honest. Morgan deserves a knighthood in England. It should be Sir
Probably
Morgan.
in the England Ireland border, they can have a statue of Morgan because he has done great things
Come
for
on,
Ireland.
I think it's the first ever time. Look at the people. England had never. I think in New Zealand also you should need a statue of Ben Stokes, a player from New Zealand, a player from Ireland. Look at that. Look at the revolution. Now last year was a player from Jamaica as well in Jofra Archer who
In
really took them
Pakistan
home.
is
And a
in
player from Pakistan, Adil Rashid and Moin Ali.
true. I
What
mean,
a
Moeen
world
Ali,
11 they have put on. I
probably
mean that is
Kudrat ka Nizam went their way today, not Pakistan's way. Unfortunately, both of them played well. I think Moeen Ali's hand lower down the order,
and
especially
and,
the
and,
ball.
and, a, and, a, and a player from Zimbabwe as well, Sam Curran. So brilliant,
Yeah,
brilliant. Absolutely.
They
I think
they have
England have
made complete
outsourced
use
their
of their
team.
colonization.
I mean, this is a true World 11, guys. I mean, what to say about it?
I mean, that's the
But
reason why people are finding it difficult to win
yeah,
because they're
truly, well, they've got
outsourcing the talents, they're outsourcing the roles, and they're getting it done.
truly, well and truly. I think we'll pull up this run rate through the stages. I think as we were talking, we were praising England. I think it's time to be a little objective and look into how things panned out to understand where Pakistan lost it. We've all been telling Pakistan lost it through that, power play and also through the middle overs and especially in the death overs. That's where they were horrifying. It was probably the worst finish of Pakistan or of any team in the recent past. Look at the run rate. Now, if you look at the run rate, it's clearly says a story. It clearly says where Pakistan lost it. They lost it in the death overs to go at just 31 runs in 5 overs, losing 4 important wickets. That's where they had the railings off. They just had that kind of a day today. Whatever they were hitting, the fielders were able to pouch it quite confident. Especially Liam Livingston. At one point, I thought it was just between the bowler, and Liam Livingston, nothing else. The batter was just giving catching practice to Liam Livingston. Batters were like the fielding coaches. Is angle mein le lo, is angle mein le lo, thoda aage le lo. So at one point, he got so frustrated, he just threw the ball in the air. Ravi Shastri was like, I think he has not taken the catch. He's like, no, what the hell? Ball is following me in all the hot spots. But at the same time, how do you think? What could have Pakistan possibly done better? Because one would say, okay, they tried to show intent. It's a right thing to do because they were just what? They were really behind the 8 ball game at the end of 15 overs. They really had to up the ante. They were 107 in 15 overs. And from there on, what could they have done? They had to take the chances. And the only possible way they could have taken the chances is to go after the ballers. And Sam Curran has had a very good tournament in that way. Even Chris Jordan has, but since he's got an opportunity, he's really shown promises of what he can possibly do in the death overs as well. Then what could have Pakistan possibly done better? Maybe be more cheeky with the shots. May look for more doubles. Try to get the score to 150 at least.
I think he's on mute.
You're a mute. You're a mute, Jaren.
And England's plans were really spot on. They did not air in lines. They did not give anything really to Pakistan, and I think that's where it was. There was only one way you could have gone after them is to disrupt their lines, disrupt their plans. Yeah, that's an excellent comment, by the way. I was just
Yeah, I
waiting
think
when
that is
you
a
put on the
Spark Bean
screen.
revenge once. It was Mr. Bean versus Spark Bean, and Mr. Bean wins it once again. So I think the curse of Pakistan, the entire tournament has been Mr. Bean. And once again, Raul Atkinson is from England at the end of the day, and I think this is where it is. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean Sam Curran is the son of Kevin Curran, who was one of the stars I would say of Zimbabwean cricket back in the day when Zimbabwe was a force in world cricket. But yeah, I think it's really come to haunt them. And Sam Curran did ball. It did seem like he balled with vendetta throughout the tournament. As if he was proving to the selectors that I belong here, and he proved to the. I mean, I think finally is in the final as well. That's been the key for England, I would say, because England's always been a team which has had good batting, but it's always been the death bowling, right, which has let them down. But both Mark Wood, I know he's not played today, but both Mark Wood and Sam Curran have been exceptional in the death. They've not given a lot of runs away, and most importantly, Sam Curran made sure that he got wickets. And I think he's also the leading wicket taker of the tournament, if I'm not wrong. Or he's definitely up there, and it just shows, to get those wickets in that at that stage of the game.
He's the leading wicket taker of the tournament if you consider from the Super 12s onwards.
Yeah, Super 12 onwards, correct. So I mean,
Absolutely.
and that's where actually, to be very fair, the group stage was another qualification. I mean, you're having group stage going on, and on the other hand, India is playing practice matches. England is playing
Yeah.
practice matches. You don't see that happen in India as a tournament. And also organized by ICC. That's a different topic. But coming
Mhm.
into it, right? I think Sam Curran was the most important player right there, because you see in their death is when they really got. I mean, when they really, left the game, or really, couldn't take control of the game. Because after that, I think they really. I mean, till then, I think England had a hold. But when they lost those many wickets in the death for really nothing for the. To show for returns, it just never was going to be possible for Pakistan to make a comeback. I mean, I know England had a very bad middle overs, but what they did very smartly was the fact that they did not lose any more wickets than they should have. And I mean, they did keep, after losing those 3 wickets, they made sure that they were able to keep those wickets in hand towards the later half. And what really helps is because England had a luxury thanks to Pakistan's bad death over spell. So if Pakistan had scored 20 more runs, I don't think England could have had that luxury to keep the wickets in hand coming into the death overs.
Yeah, and not just that, I also think that Pakistan scored only 31 runs in their last 5 overs. They could have been a bit clever and could have knocked the ball around for a couple of ones and twos and threes in between, rather than trying to hit the ball out of the park every delivery and going on to miss it. And I think that is where England has been very clever with their lines and lengths towards the later half of the innings. Even against India, they were not really successful. India went on to score 68 of the last 5, but throughout their innings, throughout the bowling innings, they restricted India to 100 in the first 15, and that had got to do with they knew that they were playing in short square boundaries in Adelaide, so they were keeping the ball fuller. They were bowling fuller lengths, and India would have to target the longer boundaries, the straight boundaries, the
Yeah.
V region boundaries. But tonight we had larger square boundaries, and as a result, you did not have Chris Jordan and Sam Curran towards they try to nail those Yorkers. They were trying to bowl it in the 6 meter, 8 meter mark. They were trying to hit the deck hard and bowl those slower deliveries and change of pace and variations. And that was doing the job for them because Pakistan had to clear the long square boundaries. And if you see most of the dismissals that like happened for Pakistan in the last 5 overs were caught in deep mid wicket, were caught in deep square leg or long on sort of a position where they were trying to clear the boundaries. They were trying to generate their own pace and trying to clear the boundaries. Even in the last over or the last 2 overs, that Mohammad Wasim, Shaheen Shah Afridi were so desperately trying to hit the ball out of the park with all their might. It was just England bowling, not even wicket to wicket, that outside off stump channel. They were just bowling in that 6 meter, 8 meter area, and they were just hitting the deck hard and just rolling their arms over. And I think that just did the trick for them. And they were brilliant throughout this tournament in understanding and assessing the pitch and knowing what areas do they have to bowl to. Their plans were very clear. It was not caught between two things that they want to execute. And often it happens that you want to execute a slower delivery or a Yorker and end up bowling a half volley, and that just goes for a 6. And you did not see that happening from England. They were very calm under pressure, and I think that is one quality that you need to win the T20 World Cup, and they had it. I think
I think you're
now.
on mute.
Yeah, I think we'll be coming to the end of our live right now. We will be coming back later tonight, hopefully, to celebrate England's win and to have a better analytical perspective on what had happened today. So thank you all for joining. It was more like a watch along, and the last two times I've done watch along, Pakistan have lost two major finals. So that's what I would
But
say.
the last time we did a watch along
No,
in the
no,
England Pakistan,
no. I'm talking about two major finals. I did an Asia Cup watch
yeah.
along and this one as well. So that's what I'd have. So thank you guys for joining once again. Kudrat ka Nizam, I think Gaurav Pandit,
I think
you
we should
are
just
a
end on
happy
that
man
note.
today.
We should end
You
on
are a
that
very
note.
happy man today, and I think you were truly, passionate in supporting your team. And congratulations to you and all the
And
England fans
I
across
think
the
we
world.
should be happy at other teams' successes. And I think that we should, in general, celebrate England's win. They were the best team in the tournament. They demolished India. They demolished Pakistan on their way to the World Cup.
Yeah, yeah.
And we knew Asian teams were going to find it hard in Asian conditions, in Australian conditions. And England just proved it
But
I
right.
mean,
two
they
of the
truly
teams who
deserved
came in
it.
the semi-finals were Asian teams. So
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's okay. I mean, to be very honest, you knew
I
England
mean,
were the
let's
better
just
team out of all of them.
maybe when we go
And
into the yeah, when we go into the analytics side, we had a discussion very early on that Pakistan do struggle on lens which are not hitting at the stumps, and I think that's the reason why today's ground dimensions probably went against them. We will speak about it
yeah,
a lot
sure.
more deep, when we come
Definitely,
back to
definitely.
it.
I mean, that's something which I think we will talk about later on, and that's all I would say. And yeah, party to karna hi hai, party to banta hi hai,
हाँ
definitely.
हम लोग को भी बुला लो
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. On that note, yeah, I think we will end the live right here, guys. Thank you all for joining, and we will be back. We'll be back celebrating England's success. I think they deserve a lot more accolades than what they are getting, because it's been a revelation for them from what they were and what they are today. And they are going to be lifting their second ICC T20 World Cup, the best white ball team in this generation by winning the ODI World Cup and T20 World Cup. I don't know what more is yet to come from their end. They're looking very scary. They've reached the peak of their powers, and they're just going to build on from here on, is what I believe. Thank you, and have a good time, all of you.
Good night,
yeah
guys.
goodbye guys